Hi guys, Tom here from MyVetRehab. This is going to be a quick demo of the MyVetRehab system and show you what it's got to do. So when you get access the demo platform, you can click login. So you've got a staff login button down the bottom here. If you click that, that'll take you through to a login page. And then you're going to pop in your password. And then that'll log you into the dashboard. So once we're in the dashboard, we've got a variety of different things available to us. We're going to start at the bottom initially with clinic settings, and then we're going to work our way through all of the different tools that are available. So in clinic settings, you've got 4 different tabs, and these contain all the different fields of information that you are going to need to populate or use for your system. So they're all accessible. You can change them to meet your needs. So on the first setting is your business settings. These are all the bits of information that appear on like a headed bit of paper, for example. So for example, the downloadable receipts and various bits of information that way. Then you've got the logos. You've got your core business logo and up to 5 document logos that will go in the footer. And then you've got the financial settings where you can set all your treatment pricing, obviously set your price and then the fee. You can move these around, change these into a different order if you want to, that's absolutely fine. They're there for you to tailor. If you want to remove anything, that's on the left hand side, and if you want to add a price, that's also fine. On further down, you've then got the ability to set charity discounts. Also a currency symbol if you're not UK based, and if you charge a mileage fee, then that's available there as well. Obviously in this demo package, then we've got a demo account name for bank transactions, and all that information set up there. This is all just to make sure that the system shows you in the demo what it can do and where you would put information. And then finally, terms of service. You'll have a declaration which goes on the referral form, and then any practice instructions, which is the back of the referral form. Once you're happy with those settings, you can click update, and then that's it. That's everything in the clinic settings. Above that, you've then got tools. You don't need to worry really about any of this from a demo perspective, but it's just showing that these are here. They are generally useful for things like data protection, where you might need to export or erase personal data. They're there as a mandatory requirement. We're going to skip right to the top now and then work our way through from patients through to all the functionality. So in patients, we've got a demo patient already set up. You can add patients manually if you want to using the add new button. We'll go through adding a referral because that's the most succinct way of doing it. If you do decide to add new, then make sure that you are assigning the client to it. If you haven't got a client assigned to it, then they won't have any contact details assigned. So make sure you do that when you're setting that up. However, in the meantime, we're going to go in and have a look at these 3 options. So you've got, if you click on the main link, that will take you through to the management page of the specific patient. You've then got the ability to view the client, view it as if you are a client, and also to edit the patient records. Whilst we're on this page, when you get hundreds and hundreds of clients lists added, you can filter them by title, and you can also search at the top left here if you need to. You can also filter by the date that they are added to make them nice and quickly accessible. You'll also be always provided with some signalment, your client information, so that you've got quick access to those details as well. So let's dive in and have a look at a patient. So this is a test patient that's already been set up. We'll start from the top down. At the top, this is their unique identifier. It's also replicated in the URL up here. This unique identifier is used to help them log in, and we'll cover that later. On the left-hand side here, you've got information about the client. It'll also give you information about how many sessions that they've had, and when the next review's due, and why they were referred to you. So it gives you a very quick snapshot. You then got the client information, the ability to edit the patient, edit the client, download the clinical history, and a new referral form. So we'll have a quick look at the clinical history. As you can see, it's got the information that we set up in the clinic settings earlier in the top right hand corner here. Then it's got the critical information about the patient. Then further down, it's got a record of all of the clinical history that you could need, finalised by your footer. Equally, we're going to have a look at the new referral form. New referral form is a standardised layout and includes the logo and the critical information for your business, the client information that has been input, as well as the patient information. Then it provides a statement that ensures you are compliant with regards to data protection and sharing information. Finally, you've then got the clinician section for the clinician to fill out, and a clinician's declaration. In the starter package, this is a standard default template. In the boost package, you can tailor this template to meet your needs through your development credit that is available to you. It automatically populates a link for at the bottom for return of your the referral form, and then on the back page is a space for any instructions for your veterinary practice. Okay, so we're back on this page again now. This is going to go through the main record keeping. On the middle here, we've got the clinical records. As you can see, we've pre-populated this with various different bits of records. So when we get a referral come in, it tells you who the referral's from and automatically generates this text. It'll tell you who the staff member was that added it, the date, and the ability to edit it and go back in and add that later, add an edit and change things later. Then up the top, you've got veterinary tabs. We've not set a veterinary practice for this particular patient, but we can do. So we've got quick access to that information. We've also got access to any inbound and outbound communications from vets. So we've got the referral form that we received from a vet, but we've also got some letters that we've created over our time, and we'll cover creating letters in a bit. Then at the top here, we'll go to financial history. It's generated us automatically receipts linked directly to transactions. So where we've got hydrotherapy and consultation transactions, it has automatically created referrals as well, financial histories as well. We can click generate receipt for each of these, and that will generate a PDF document that again has it's just got a singular item on it, and as well as your backs information that was created earlier. Yeah, go ahead and close that. If you take the boost option of subscription, you will be able to have this modified as part of your development credits as well. Some individuals have asked for the ability to, for example, to tailor what it says or to add additional lines. For example, if you've provided sale of a supplement, for example, then you might want to include that in the receipt because it might be claimable on insurance, so it'd be useful. Close that. The final tab there is notices. So there's no notices for this patient, but you can set these notices in the edit patient and edit client pages. So we're going to have a quick look at those. Let's open these in a couple of separate tabs. We've got these available to see. So in the edit patient, we've got three tabs here. We've got all the critical information about this patient, and you can see there's a box here that contains a space of patient notices. You can add a photo if you'd like on the right hand side, and then on the left we're going to go back and have a look at veterinary details. So we can choose to select our vet. There's a list of hundreds of RCVS UK accredited vet practices. If you're an international client, then please do contact us and with a list of your vets, and we can just get this changed out for you into a different set. And then on the final tab is clinic information. In this clinic information tab, it's the critical information that you will need. So you need to assign it to a client. Each client can have multiple different patients assigned to them. So in this case, it's assigned to the demo client. You can choose whether they have a charity discount applied, which takes off the percentage that was set in the clinic settings. You can choose whether a maintenance patient, which therefore eliminates the requirement for referral under the current RCVS guidance, although obviously for good practice we'd always recommend getting referral anyway. And then if you're travelling a certain amount of miles to see a patient, then you can enter that, and that will calculate the mileage onto as a charge on the invoice. Okay. So we're happy with all of that information there. So we're going to head and click update, and that'll take you back to the main page. We also opened the client information. In the client information, you've got lots of access to default WordPress user management tools, but actually most importantly is the information down here. So you can set the client to any kind of setting in here. So for example, if you were adding a staff member, then we come across to the left hand side, click add new, fill out the information and make sure their role is as staff. And then you've got first name, last name, a nickname. The nickname is required but not really used, so we tend to use first name dot last name. This is automatically generated when you use the referral management system. You've also then got how the name is publicly displayed. So it might be on the front end, for example, we've got demo staff, and that's how it's displayed there for demo staff. Then down here we've got the critical information of the user email. Everything's linked via email. You can set and manage passwords in the account management tool here, and you can send them a reset link if you'd like to as well. This is actually not really used for the client management. Client management we'll cover very briefly in a minute, but for staff this is quite important because they use a different login system. So at the very bottom is the final sets of information. You've got your mobile phone number, secondary number, we use that as a landline, and home address. Then client details, any confidential notes that you want to add, which would appear in the notices here. Obviously that's only available to practitioners and not available on the client view. And then the critical bit is the login info token down here, which they will need to be able to log in. So we're going to have a quick skip through to logging into MyVetRehab. So we're going to load up the demo platform, and you'll see that there's two fields here. This is what's needed to be able to log into the system. So we're going to take that login token, and that's what's known as the access code. And then we need the patient's ID, which is up here. It's also included up in the URL. Pop that in and click login. And then this is the client view. So the client is able to see the photo that's uploaded. They're able to download their clinical history and all of their information. Their information, if they scroll to the bottom and click edit my details, they can edit and also upload a photo. And then all of their records are then shown in clinical history. They can also download their treatment invoices by coming through here in the same way that we did on the other page. Let's go ahead and close these. We don't need those open anymore. So that's done a run through of the critical information there. Now we've got a few actions up here at the top right that we're going to go over. If you click back to dashboard, that'll obviously take you back to the dashboard. I'm not going to do that right now. If you click client view, that'll take you back to that client view that we've just had a look at, which leaves us just with these two. So add a record is probably the number one thing that you're going to use. So when you click add record from a patient, it'll automatically choose the patient for you in the list. You can then choose your report type, which is outlined here. And on the right hand side, you can then choose your pricing. This pricing is generated by the clinic settings that we went through earlier. The report type for boost users can be edited, for startup users is set. And I'll go through how we do that later. If it's a home visit, you want to check that home visit box because that will calculate the mileage for you. And then we're going to go through and have a look. So we've got, because this is a physical evaluation, there's lots of boxes of information that can be completed. As a startup user, if you just complete whichever box you complete, it will publish that information. If you don't complete the box, then it just simply won't show that information. If you are a Boost user, same principles applies, but you'll be able to change any of these fields and modify them as you require. Each tab has different settings, so you can see that a progress review has similar settings to the physical evaluation compared to something like a hydrotherapy report, where we're just looking at basic SOAP reporting. So we've got our observations, treatment plan, and then any planning and a review plan by. So the review plan by is an interesting concept. So when you click set the date, say we want to review the plan by the 30th of June for this patient, that will then set in the patient view this date here. So it'll tell you when their next due date is required. Okay, so let's populate this very quickly with some test observations. And we're going to hit publish. And you can see at the top, you now have access to return to that patient. Basically, hitting publish saves the record for you. There is an inbuilt autosave function which will automatically save your things just in case of internet dropout, but we always recommend clicking publish to start with and then update. If you want to edit the date, for example, you're updating your records later down the line, then you can simply click edit, choose the date that you're doing it, OK, and update. You'll also see there's revisions, so we keep a copy on the system of any historical revisions, so you can go back and edit those if you need to, or switch back to them if you need to, if something's gone awry. So we're going to pop back and have a look at this test patient. Now you can see it's automatically pulled through all of that information, including the review date, and that's the critical information there. So you'll see I've put a review in here with 30th of June, but somewhere else on the page we've said 13th of July. It will take the latest date or the last date. So just bear that in mind. Now we've covered adding a record. We're going to cover creating a home exercise protocol. So click that button. First of all, we're going to preview to see whether we've got any saved, which we do. We've got 2 exercises saved, so we're going to turn these off. You can either click on them to turn them off and they'll go from pink to blue, or you can click the clear protocol button and that'll empty it. Always do that first because it will remember the exercises that you had in there before. You can filter and search from the left hand side, but the quickest option is generally to have a quick look in the search function. Then when you found the exercises that you want, we're going to go ahead and click, just add those 2 for now, and then click create home exercise protocol. And slightly differently, you do have to choose the client at this stage, but then the rest of the information can be left. We don't charge for the home exercise protocols, so we can change that to 0. You've then got on the home exercises tab a whole set of the exercise you just created. You can shrink them down using the arrow at the side. You can also click and drag to move them around to make sure the order is as you want. If you click on the right hand side on the minus section, you can remove exercises. In here we can also, when we expanded view, we can actually have a bit more information. So it automatically pulls in our default text. Default text can be managed through the exercise manager on the left hand side. You can also change it to meet each time to meet the needs of the dog. It doesn't change it centrally. So if I changed information on this page particularly, it won't change it in the exercise manager. This is just specifically for this client. And you can also change the frequency, sets, hold, duration, and repeat. So you might say daily, do 1 set, hold to 2 seconds for a duration of 3 seconds, and repeat that 4 times. If you happen to have missed an exercise, you can come in and add an exercise by adding that, and then select an exercise from the drop down list. It doesn't automatically populate the notes for this, so you'll have to then type that in yourself. So we're just going to type that in there. That's it. Once that's created, you can then click publish and return to view your patient. As you can see, it's then put in a list of all the exercises that it needs. It doesn't give you the detail of that because you can go in and click edit to go and have a look. But if we were having a look at it from a client perspective, You'll then see that it has a link to go and have a little more information at that. In there, it will then provide you with photos. If there is a video, it'll show you the video. And at the bottom, they can click download PDF. And that'll open up a PDF that is nicely formatted with the photo and the information that you've created, including the custom text. So we're going to close all of that and refresh that page. So we've covered quite a lot in the last 20 minutes on patient management. That gives you the headline synopsis of everything that you should need to do. We're now going to go back to the dashboard. There is a copy of all patient records. They're kept here, so you can see all of the records that are kept for all of your patients. You can choose to search them, especially if you know the ID of the exercise or the item that you've prescribed. If you need to add a new one that you don't want to go through the patient function, then you can just click add new, choose your patient and use the same process that we've just done before. Next step down is referrals. So when you're receiving a new referral or a new client, then this is the page that you probably need to use. So in here, we're going to add some information and we're going to add a dog's name. We always recommend using the last name so it's easily searchable. So if you've got Grindelwald and you've got two Grindelwalds, then you've at least got them by surname, easier to find. We're going to say this is a Labrador. 30 kilos, born 3 years ago. And then choose your vet from the list. And if you've got a referring practice, you can choose a referring practice. Select what the reason that you might want to do it. For Boost customers, you can change this. You can change the information here. This doesn't really go anywhere, it just provides you with a record that we can access later for you, and how they heard about you. Marketing data is really important. All of these opt-ins are GDPR compliance, and then if you've got any further information you need to add, you can add that there. I'm going to head and click that create a client. It will then ask you whether you want to register the dog's name with the client, and you do need to click confirm to make that happen. Now you see on the right hand side that Grindelwald has been added. We can click create referral and that will automatically download the PDF for the referral for that client. We'd then send that off to the vet, get that turned around, sent back. Once that's back in, we can then come in and click upload referral. As you can see, it's automatically populated. Grindelwald told us a vet referral and we don't charge for referrals. We're going to pop in the date, say that they referred to us today, and the vet was John, and that was at that practice, and it was for right side cruciate post-surgical. Going to go ahead and find that file that we've just downloaded, select that, and now we've got the basis of the recommendations. This veterinary diagnosis goes in the records and is used at the top of any letters that you create, as well as the vet's name and the practice and the data referred. So all of this information is quite important. We're going to head to click publish. Now let's have a pop and check Grindelwald's profile. As you can see, it's all set up here with all of the information and the baseline first referral. You can download that referral document as you need to from there, but we're going to go back to that dashboard, back to referrals. And so we've got the referral in the system, and now Grindelwald is ready to be activated. We will leave this here just so we can edit the patient. You can also mark as maintenance if you don't want to have that showing anymore in that record, and then we can click activate patient. Now we've got three options here. We can choose to send a welcome communication, silently activate, or return to referrals. Silent activation will just activate them on the system without sending an email. Send a welcome communication, we'll send a welcome email, and we'll cover that in automations in a bit. And then return to referrals returns to the referrals page. We're going to just go assign activation for this. Great, that's it. As you can see, it's now gone from the list. And Grindelwald is active in our system. Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to skip over now to clients. In clients, you can see it's automatically created us a client for myself as Grindelwald's owner. And in here we can come in and edit and change my details if we need to. And we covered all of that earlier, so we're not going to do anything more on that. The only thing that you might want to do is adding staff. You can filter up here by the types of user you've got. So we've got 1 staff member and 2 clients in the system. You can also delete people if you need to. So for example, we're going to delete Tom from the demo. But that's deleted me as a client and would have left Grindelwald in the system, but as you can see, not assigned to any client. So we can come in, edit Grindelwald, and say actually he's now been transferred to demo client, and update that. And all of the information has changed on his portal. So that's clients. Exercise manager is the final section on the patient management system. In here, you're automatically populated with over 132 different exercises and products, but there might not be everything you need or want. In here, you can edit any of the saved activities and just hit update when you're done. I'm just going to return to that page. If you want to add your own, you can do so by clicking add new. Enter the exercise title and the information of the core description. Select the animal that is relevant to, so it might be canine and it might be a product recommendation. If it's a product recommendation, you get an extra box here, so you can provide a link, and if you're selling something on commission based, you need to let clients know that that's a commission based product, so we tick that box, and that just adds a very short line that says that you may receive some commission for recommending that product. If you've got a video, which we thoroughly encourage you to add, then use YouTube, upload it to YouTube, and then just copy in the share URL minus this beginning bit. So you'll end up with, it'll be some random characters, something like that will probably be what you'll see. You just need to copy and paste that in. Once you're done with that, click on the side here. We're going to click exercise and set a featured image. We can set any featured image that we want. And then once we're done, and that's all uploaded, let me publish until we've got, I think we can then click publish, and that will save that to your records. Those are exclusively to you. That's not shared amongst our network. They are your exercises. Right, we're nearly there. We've just got 2 more functions to go. So everything that you've seen so far has been included within the startup package. Now we're going to cover a couple of tools that are included in the Boost package. Not everything that's here is shown, but there are a couple of links on the Boost package to the other products. So there is WooCommerce, which is an online shop functionality, Amelia, which is an online booking system functionality, and then there are our custom fields functions. Oh, you'll also get access to be able to edit a website and create a website around this and create your own pages. All of that will be covered in a separate video if you do decide to take the Boost package. Excellent. So we're going to have a quick look at automations. So we've got a couple of automations already set up here. And automations are a little bit complicated to set up, so which is why I provide development credit. Will help you set them up, and then once they're there and set up and running, you can then run and come in and modify and edit them as required. So we talked earlier about the welcome email, and come in and have a look at this welcome email just to see. So what this is saying is when the user clicks a certain link, which is what we did, then it's going to gather all of this information. It's going to set the user to a certain thing, and then it's going to send an email. And then send the email is the bit that you're going to want to potentially edit. The rest of it is all functionality that might look scary, but we set all of that up for you, so don't worry about that at all. Change the content of the email is really easy. We just come in and click it. I've already set up some information in here as to who it's coming from, and that's drawing the information from above. So again, we've already set all of that for you. You're just going to want to scroll down to this bit here where we've already set up the default. So this is what is automatically sent via email from the starter package. So when you click send welcome email, say hello, client name. We're pleased to confirm the patient's name. Paperwork is all complete for your dog. We will shortly send your confirmation for your appointment and if we're not arranged yet for an appointment date. So that gives you that option to then contact them after that's been sent, or contact them before you send it. We have our own online portal, which is this. In the portal, you'll be able to access all of this information, and then it provides a link to go to get to the portal, their patient ID and the access token. So you don't need to dive in and try and find all that information. As a starter, it will automatically send all of this anyway. It then just signs it off from the clinic. As a Boost user, you can come in and change this, modify it, change things to bold if you want to, underline it, change text, and we can help you add different functionality. You might also want to add for example, we could add an action in here, and you might want to send a text message, or you might want to send a WhatsApp message. So you can see here a list of different things that we can connect to. If you've got Zapier, then we can expand it even further. But in the meantime, you might want to set up a Twilio account for sending text messages, or a WhatsApp account for sending a WhatsApp message. You might want to use MailerLite to add them automatically to a mailing list, or maybe use MailChimp already, send them a mailing list. And there's lots of different actions that can be created. And if you want to learn more, simply click the Learn More link, and that'll take you to the automating function software. So you've got a lot more information there. As I said, we'll help set this up. This is part of the development credits that you get as part of the Boost package, so don't worry too much if it all looks a bit too technical. The simple thing is to know that you can come in and edit it, and we'll show you a little video and talk you through it and be there to support you if you need it. The final thing as a Boost customer is you get access to the custom fields. So there's the only one that you can edit is this patient records function. You can come down here. Now the ones with the stars next to them are really important. You can't edit and change those. Those are linked to centrally in the system. But everything else you can change. And as you can see, every record, there's lots of information that we can capture. And this is all the fields that you saw on the previous pages. These pages are governed by tabs. First of all, you have a tab that sets out the group of information. Then the next fields below are contained within that tab, and then you use another tab to separate it, and so on. You can rinse and repeat. There are so many different field types that you can use. All of these are available to you as different field types should you need them. Generally, mostly we use text. Might use a date, maybe an email address, but mostly it's a text field. If you don't need something, you can come in and change and delete this. We ask you not to in the demo system, otherwise it just ruins everyone else's experience, as the demo platform is a shared product. Okay, so that's available to everyone in the Boost platform. The other thing that I think I probably haven't shown you is letter creation. So when we've seen a client, we can also create a letter. So we're going to click letter on the right hand side. Then presented with the form, it's got all the information about the dog, so you can change things if you need to change them and update them, because you might have got something wrong. Critical thing here is to set some information. So we're actually going to say that this is a vet report. So this just provides a description for the previous page, so you know what's going. It'll then give you a draft. You can then change and edit this draft however you'd like to change it. Once you're happy with the content, click Save Letter. That will generate a PDF. Save that to your server. In the meantime, it'll give you an idea as to what that looks like. So it's dated, provides you with all the information that you could possibly need, and then it gives you all of the text that we've set out. And once you're happy with it, you can just hit generate PDF. And that'll generate you a PDF there of the letter that we've just created. Once that's been created, load up that again. I have to delete that. Right, so once that's been created, we can go into the patients, test patient. And as you see, it says a letter here. The letter is titled Vet Report was drafted for the vet's name, and you can regenerate that PDF over and over again. You can come in and edit it as well if you need to, so it's there. Also saved here in the files for outbound communications. Overall, that gives you a head-to-toe synopsis of the demo platform. There's lots more that can be added and tailored. When we create your system, it takes about a day or 2 days to create it because we set everything up for you. It sits on its own platform, its own part of a server, so it's completely unique to you, and no one else has access to it. So this is just your system on your server. So that is MyVetRehab. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you like the look of it, and please do sign up, and we'll catch you when we need to support you. We're here for you as required. Hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye.